Ladies and gentlemen, playoff basketball is here. It has been a very exciting and interesting week and a half of basketball. I'm excited. And I want to talk about a few of the games today. Um, LeBron James looking like he is turning back the clock. The Lakers lead 3-1 against the Rockets without Luka Doncic or Austin Reeves. The Trailblazers are leading. The Spurs are leading the Trailblazers 3-1. The Nuggets are losing 1-3 to the Timberwolves. The Celtics are up 3-1 on the 76ers. The Hawks and Knicks, probably a surprise, but they split their series 2 apiece. The Thunder are putting belt to the Suns. The Magic lead the Pistons 2-1. And the Raptors and Cavs are all tied up as well, 2-2. So firstly, I want to talk about this Celtics and 76ers game, or this series. Jason Tatum in game 4 posted 30 points, 7 rebounds, 11 assists. I want to give him his flowers because up until last night, he's been fairly inefficient, and I'm giving him some grace behind that because he just came off a torn Achilles. I think he's played 16 games in the regular season. I think. Or it might be 16 games in total. But like I said, I'm giving him some grace for the inefficiency because he's still trying to find his legs. He's still trying to figure out what he can and can't do. But last night, 8 for 16 from the field, 5 for 10 from the 3. So 50% from the field and 50% from the 3. He did have 5 turnovers, but he had 11 assists, 7 rebounds. Now, the turnovers do need to be cleaned up a little bit. Maybe 3, you know. But with that being said, I think he's the best decision maker slash facilitator that they have on that team. And that really speaks to how good Boston really is because I think they have about 4 players that can handle the ball and you can trust them to make decisions with the ball. Peyton Pritchard would probably be the last one because he's mainly looking to score the ball. He's mainly looking to shoot the ball. And he did that last night. He shot the piss out the ball. 6 threes made last night, 32 points. And I'm pretty sure he came off the bench as well. Jaylen Brown had 20.7 rebounds. He had a lackluster game. Still got it done though. I mean, when you're getting 72 points between 2 people, it makes it kind of hard. And then you got Baylor Shireman coming off the bench hitting threes. Like they were just shooting the ball very good last night. They shot 45% from the 3 as a team last night. So I mean, at that point, what can you do? They're hitting their shots. Tyrese Maxey has been very good throughout this series. I think he's been the best player for the 76ers. VJ did have a good game in one of the games. And I'm going to say this. Might be a hot take, might not be. But I think the 76ers are better off trying to win games without Joel Embiid. Not only for the long-term health, but as well as when he comes in, is pretty much throwing off offense because they've played without him pretty much all year. Then when he comes on the floor, he's going to demand the ball. You got to feed him in the post. And now you got to figure out how to play around him and through him. Where it seems like in these other games, Tyrese Maxey was pretty much he was the spearhead of this offense, and he was doing a very good job. I just don't feel like they have enough to compete with Boston at this point. Because even in one of the games I was watching, I think it was game 3. Tyrese Maxey was just doing all he could. Paul George was actually he wasn't scoring to that level, but he was assisting the ball. He was distributing the ball, finding players in the right spot, and all that. Andre Drummond was hitting a couple threes. The offense looked good, stagnant at times, but it did look good. I think you need Paul George to take that leap that we think he can take. Like, he needs to average like 22, in my opinion. 22 to, I'm not even going to say 25, but like at least 22. He hasn't cracked 20 this series at all, and I think that's part of their struggles. But yeah, Joel Embiid is. I think he's hurting more than he's helping at this point. He did have 26 points, 10 rebounds, 6 assists, a steal, and a block. But I mean, we know the defense isn't. It's not there. And like I said, the offense is he's more of a hindrance on offense now because we got to figure out how to play around you. You know what I'm saying? And we've been playing without you this entire time. So I think Paul George just needs to take that step for them, and he needs to average about 22 a game. And Tyrese Maxey needs to continue to do what he was doing if they're gonna try to make this series like competitive. But that's pretty much all I have to say about that series there. What's next? Like I said, I haven't watched too many of the games because I do work second shift, so I mainly get a chance to watch the West Coast games throughout the week, and then on the weekends I can watch the Eastern Conference games. But I'll be honest, the Cavs and the Raptors, I haven't been paying too much attention to that series. The Hawks and Knicks, I've watched a couple games, and but I have been watching the Spurs and the Trailblazers and the Rockets and Lakers. The Lakers are up 3-1 on the Rockets. Now KD's only played one game in this series, and they lost that game. They won last night, however, without KD. Amen Thompson had 23 points, 4 rebounds, 7 assists, a steal. He can't shoot the ball, but he's been decent for them. He's been good for them, I think. Tari Eason had 20 points, 8 rebounds, 5 steals, and a block. He shook back finally. I think we've been waiting on him to shake back. Now Sengun, Sengun, I just don't know. He's not a number 1 by any means. And I'm not sure if he's a number 2, to be honest. And I just don't know how they're going to be able to like make this a series. The Lakers just need one game. And LeBron James has been playing his ass off in the first 3 games. Now, last night he did have a stinker. He had only 10 points. But I'm going to give him some grace because the first 3 games, he was exceptional. And all I'm going to say about that is if they want to go ahead and close this series out, he's going to have to play up to the level that he was playing in those last 3 games. Like, in game 3, he was pretty much amazing. He tried to sell the game, like, towards the end of the 4th. with some of his decision making, but he came up with a clutch steal and he hit the game tying three to send them into overtime. He ended with 29 points, 13 rebounds, 6 assists, 3 steals, and a block. Marcus Smart has been stepping up, 21 points for him in game 3, 10 assists, 5 steals, 2 blocks. Rui was out there hitting shots, 22 points for him. Luke Kennard had a hell of a game in game 1. He's pretty much cooled down though, but he can still come out there and hit shots though. So I don't know what the Lakers' plan is, but I'm pretty sure it's to see if they can close out this series. If it gets too close, they might try to bring back either Reeves. I think it'll be Reeves before Doncic, but I don't know. But I'm pretty sure that the Lakers can close this game out without either of them. To be honest, like I said, LeBron James has to play up to the level that he played up to in those first 3 games. Again, not too much to say about Sengun. I've seen all the memes on Twitter. I've seen all the jokes. I don't know. I just don't know about that guy. Now the Spurs and Trailblazers. I think we all expected this to be a quick one, and it's shaping up to be a quick one. The Spurs lead 3-1. Last night they won 114-93. Wemby did end up missing the rest of the game. I think he went out in the first quarter of game 2. Let me check. No, he went out in the second quarter. He went out in the second quarter of game 2. He only played 12 minutes, but he ended up having to go to concussion protocol, so he missed the rest of that game, which they ultimately ended up losing in 106-103. But in game 3, they played without Wemby, and they bounced back. I will say, during the regular season, Stephon Castle has been pretty fucking good throughout the year. I did have some questions about his decision making in the postseason, however, and he answered the call. I'm not gonna lie, he did have 4 turnovers, but he put up 33 points, 5 assists. Dylan Harper came in and put up 27 points, 10 rebounds, 3 assists. A steal and a block to go with that as well. So shout out to Dylan Harper, man, being a rookie and coming in and putting up those type of numbers in a postseason game. Like I said, it is the Trailblazers, so we don't really expect this series to go out longer than it should. Game 4, Wemby made his return. 27 points, 11 rebounds, 3 assists, 4 steals, 7 blocks. This guy had 10 stocks total. So I think it's fair to say that he is perfectly fine now. So just hopefully they can keep that going. De'Aaron Fox finally had the game that we've been waiting on him to have. Since he's got to San Antonio, I think he's been playing within his role, not trying to force anything. But last night he put up 28 points, 6 rebounds, 7 assists, a steal, and 2 blocks. This was the game that I was waiting on him to have. I understand you're playing into your role. However, I do feel like you are the second best player on that team. And at times, I feel like you just need to, take over. So, glad he finally did that. So, I'm pretty sure, I don't know who they have to play next. But if they end up playing the Thunder, that's a series where he's gonna have to step up, and he's gonna have to put those type of games up on a nightly basis. I feel like because Wemby's gonna get his, but we all know about OKC. Like we'll talk about them later on in the video, but we all know. So yeah, that's been a good series. I've been watching that one. Now the Hawks and the Knicks. This is a series that I felt like we all thought the Knicks were just gonna completely dominate the Hawks. That has not been the case. The Hawks have managed to take 2 games out of this series. Um, Jalen Brunson hasn't been great. He's putting his numbers up, but he hasn't been great. Cat has been Cat, and OG Anunoby has been he's been pulling his weight. The person that I feel like has not been pulling their weight is Mikal Bridges. He's averaging 7 points within this series. He had a game where he didn't even fucking score the ball. And I want to say it was game 3. Game 3, he had 0 points. 0 for 3. He only took 3 shots. And of course, they lost. 11 points in game 1, 10 points in game 2, 8 points in game 4. He has been so lackluster, so underwhelming this series. Like, I don't know how you can look at his performance this series and say that you made a good trade for him when you gave up as many assets as you did to get him. And he just has to do better. If they want to win this series, he's going to have to step up. He has to. Because when you have Jalen Brunson out there getting guarded, getting put in a dungeon by Dyson Daniels, you need everybody else to step up. Cat is going to have to probably average about 25 points for the rest of this series. He's putting up numbers, but he has to do more. So it just needs to be a collective effort from everybody else because Brunson is he's struggling. And that's what Dyson Daniels is on the floor for because it damn sure is an offense. I'll tell you that. But and Zachary Ricochet. Oh man. Oh man, oh man. Oh man, I ain't gonna lie. That boy came in the game with a bomb strapped to his chest. And I don't think he's seen the court since. Number 1 pick. For him to be a number 1 pick, that is disgusting. CJ McCollum has been their best player. And I don't think we seen that I don't think we seen that coming this year. He did play in game 3. He had 3 points. Zachary Ricochet did. But yeah, the Knicks and Okongwu has been pretty good too. He's been hitting outside shots. Now, with this Thunder and Suns game, I think we all knew what was going to happen in this series. Think we thought it was going to be a blowout, and it's shaping up to be that they do lead 3-0 in this series. Now, I don't want to be that guy, but we all know how the Thunder's whistle is. We know that they get to play with a certain type of intensity that other teams are not allowed to play with. And you can look at the free throw disparity all you want, but in reality, when they're sitting here able to hack and push off and do all these other things, like, and you're not allowed to because you know it's going to be a foul call on the other end, what are you supposed to do? Jalen Williams is out next game. I think they play. Yeah, they play tonight. Jalen Williams is out this game, but I'm fairly confident that they can do it without him. Shea put up 42 last game. He was great. 83% from the field. 37 points in game 2. 9 assists. He's been lights out. So props to him on that. But like I said, you can't just sit here and say, well, oh, they're just complaining. Look at the free throw ratio. Bro, if at some point, let's stop being naive and let's really use our brains. If everybody is saying the same thing, every team that you play is having the same complaints, there's got to be some truth to it. Like, it's all fine and dandy until your team that you go for is actually playing against them and you're sitting down watching it and you're seeing how egregious that this shit really is. But like I said, they're the golden team of the NBA right now, so you can't really. What are you going to do about it? So I'm not going to spend too much time on that series. Like I said, I haven't watched the Magic and Pistons series too much. However, I will say Jalen Duren has been getting played off the fucking floor by Wendell Carter Jr. And I also heard some rumors about how Wendell took his girl or something like that. I think it was Angel Reese. And if that's the case, bro, you going out like a sucker. Like, you got to fight back, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Cade has been doing his thing. Props to him. Haven't really watched too much of the Raptors and Cavs game. I've only watched one game in that series. That's not a series that I'm fairly interested in, to be real with you. So I'm not going to speak on that. Now, this Timberwolves and Nuggets series, Jokic has been putting up numbers. However, I feel he hasn't been playing up to his level of play. He's stuffing the stat sheet, of course, but he's been highly inefficient this series. They're down 3-1 to Minnesota. Now, Ant is out, and Dante DiVincenzo also is done for the rest of the season. He tore his Achilles, so he's done. Ant has jumper's knee in one knee, and then he hyperextended the other knee last game. So, honestly, if I'm the Timberwolves, I'm up 3-1. I wouldn't bring back Anthony Edwards and risk his future to try to beat Denver, because I don't see Minnesota beating the beating the Thunder or the Spurs. I really don't. So I don't think you should bring back Ant for the rest of this series. If you can win, if you can close this series out without him and Dante, then you might need to try to do that. But if not, if Denver's able to come back and win this series, and to do so, I think Jamal Murray is gonna have to. I think he's gonna have to go nuclear. Well, I'm talking 40 bombs. Like, he's gonna have to go nuclear because Rudy Gobert he's been giving Jokic hell. Like I said, he's been highly inefficient, and the reason for that is Rudy Gobert has been playing good post defense, and he's forcing Jokic to take these pick and pop shots, these pick and pop threes, and Jokic just can't hit. He was 2 for 10 the other night from the 3-point line. So I just don't know how this series is going to end up. Ayo DeSumo, he came out, he gave you 40 when Anthony Edwards and Dante DiVincenzo went out. Ayo Dosunmu came out and put up 43 points. He gave y'all 43. And they ended up winning the game. In a game where Ant is not on the floor. Their best player is not on the floor. Dante DiVincenzo is out. They have two guards. They have two guards, Mike Conley and Dosunmu. They have two guards on the floor. And you guys are still losing. Jaden McDaniels came out in a press conference after the game or a post-game interview and straight up told the reporters that your entire team, named y'all name by name, were bad defenders, and just to attack them, go at the rim. And that's exactly what they've been doing, because Jokic is not deterring anything from the rim. His defense has been getting exposed. But we've known he wasn't a good defender. But his defense has been getting exposed, and now he's being exposed on the offensive end as well. So it's a lot of things coming to light in this round one of the playoffs. Like I said, I am enjoying it. And tonight's games, we have the Thunder and Suns. We got the Pistons and Magic. We got the Wolves and Nuggets. So make sure y'all tune into the games tonight, because I will be. Let's see if the Suns can take a game and not get swept. Let's see if the Pistons can tie the series up. And let's see if the Nuggets can climb back into this and win this series. That's pretty much all I got for y'all. I will be dropping another recap. It won't be tomorrow. I don't even think it'll be the next day, because I want to watch the games, and I want to have more insight for y'all. So, but this is just my take on what's been happening so far. So yeah, like I said, just make sure y'all tune into the games, man. And I'll see y'all one day this week.